welcome. Now, if you remember, we're going through the sequence, and now we are now talking about the accounting officers, the director of finance, and then we'll be speaking about the accountant general for the federation. Now, so who are the accounting officers? Basically, the accounting officers are basically the head of ministries and agencies. Now, in the case of ministries, the accounting officer will be the PAMSEC, what we call the permanent secretary, though they are not permanent. Permanent secretary. It is secretary. It's basically they are the head of all the ministries, and sometimes each ministry can have agencies. Let's say, for example, let's take the instance of Ministry of Education, Ministry of Information, Ministry of Information. Now, the Ministry of Information, the Minister of Ministry of Information, in charge of the Ministry of Information, is Mr. Lai Mohammed. I hope I got the spelling of his name right. And then under Mr. Lai Mohammed is the PAMSEC of Information. PAMSEC of Information. Now, the Permanent Secretary of Information is the accounting officer of the Ministry of Information. Basically, they are in charge of safeguarding the public fund and regulating the expenditure under their purview. They are also to ensure that whatever the minister is about to do complies fully with the existing financial regulations, and they are accountable more than the ministers. Ministers basically give political direction so that the direction of the ministry goes with the direction that has been set by the political party that is ruling at that particular point. Like we said that time, this is usually determined by the philosophy or the ideology of those political parties. So in Ministry of Information, you are going to have those things now crystallized or made into what the information will be doing. Now, under the Ministry of Information, there are other agencies that maybe the Ministry of Information to put a lot of emphasis on. Therefore, they have things like director generals in those agencies. These are like departments that maybe the ministry decides to make it into a department itself. Therefore, they can function properly. For example, you have National Film and Video Censors Board. You have Nigerian Film Corporation, NFC. You have things like Voice of Nigeria, VON. You have all these other agencies. They are headed by the accounting officers, their director generals or chief executive, whatever they call. They are like directors reporting also to the permanent secretaries through the office of the minister. And then under the permanent secretaries, you have the director of finance. Now, essentially, what the director of finance, what do they do? The director of finance are in charge of ensuring that the ministry complies with the financial regulation and our accounting code, basically to help in terms of reporting. They ensure that there's a proper maintenance of accounting record. They ensure that all the returns that is expected by the ministries or agencies are passed to our accountant general's office. And then they also help in terms of coordinating the budgeting of those ministries and agencies and ensuring that the budget controls set in place by accountant general are all enforced in this ministry and agencies. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it about the accounting officers, the director of finances, and how these are all shaped and how they relate to Accountant General. In the next class, we'll be talking of the role of the Accountant General for the Federation as it relates to the economy.